Hey, what's going on? It's V from V Love and Crystals. Today I'm doing the No Disclaimers Tarot tag by the lovely Katey Flowers. So hashtag No Disclaimers Tarot. I tag you if you are watching this. So there are, I would say, 8 questions, 9 questions. I'm going to breeze on through them in order. So basically what this tag is about, it's about our, unbiased opinions, our pet peeves on tarot decks, the community, etc. So I'm coming from the consumer standpoint. I love to collect decks, although I have tamed myself now that I'm a deck creator. So I haven't bought a deck in quite a few months. I'm pretty proud of myself. But I have a crazy amount of decks in my collection that I still haven't parted ways with. I did sell a few of the homes. I did rehome a few decks. I would say maybe 20% of my collection that I wanted to part ways with. So I still have a lot. I still have mad love for all those beautiful creators out there. And I thought I can give my opinion. Now I will say, I wrote down my answers so that I wouldn't forget. I can stay on point. But I will say that I might piss you off a little bit only because I'm not here to hate on anybody's creations. So I probably won't give you my raw, bitch face when it comes to talking about things that I hate when it comes to tarot. So you might feel like, well, you just cheated us. No, but I do have a lot of valued points of value, or how would you say, valid points, sorry. So please hear me out, and I would love to hear your answers, like I said. And Katey, thank you so much for creating this tag, by the way. I can't wait to share your video with everyone, and I hope that you can check mine out. I hope that you're watching. Hello, shoutouts to you. So what trends and tropes in tarot annoy you the most? So for me, I couldn't really rack my brain too much because nothing really stands out. So if I'm trying to rack my brain, that means I'm trying too hard. So the first thing that popped to my mind and to my intuition was the Empress. The Empress and the Dev card. So I'll get with Empress first. So the Empress, it baffles my mind that not everyone, I wouldn't say everyone, but a lot of creators create their Empresses in the pregnant form. Like they depict her to always be pregnant. And so for me, as an intuitive reader, and the Empress is not all about pregnancy. I mean, she is, but she's not all pregnant physically. She's not pregnant with a child. I mean, no. Granted, she is correct. No, she is. She's pregnant, right? Yeah, abundant, right? She's with life, right? But she's not just pregnant. She's also pregnant in ideas and flowers around her and opportunities and love and her beautiful animal friends and the trees talking with her and her thoughts. Pregnant with ideas. Pregnant with things she wants to nurture and create and love on. So that's how I see the Empress. And I guess when I just see someone depicting the Empress as to just be pregnant, and that's pretty much it, but they really, really emphasize on the pregnant belly. It just makes me feel like we shouldn't just limit our intuition to just physical pregnancy. So I would like to see more of like spiritual pregnancy, or just like it can be tangible, but not just in the body form. More like, maybe pregnant with ideas, all these beautiful ideas that she's putting on paper, and then she's creating all of them. And I know that's a lot, right? So that's just something that you can overlook, I guess. But for me, yeah, I guess it's just, like I said, just something that I noticed in a lot of my tarot decks. And then the other one is the Dev card. The Dev, I don't like to say the whole name. I don't know what my fear is. I think I have fear of saying that name. I don't know why I should, because fear is in the mindset. But having said that, I don't like the word when it comes out, and I don't like the many different disgusting depictions of the Dev card. It just seems so like horror movie-esque, and it should, but you also have to look at it from this point of view. It's all in the beholder, the eyes of the beholder. It's all about how people perceive or how people look, come on, if I'm looking at somebody in a negative way, it's, you know, I can see anybody in the dev energy. I can see anybody. Like, this person's treating me bad. I depict them to look to be like the dev, you know. It doesn't mean that they have horns growing out of their head or they have fire around them, you know. They can look like the other side is that they can look like a little fairy, and they're still acting like the dev. They still have that negative energy, that toxic energy, that draining, evil energy, you know. So looks are deceiving, and I you know, I don't like to see that disgusting dev pop out into my readings. It just seems so horrific. It's like half animal, half man, and the eyeballs are bulging out. It's a nightmare, to be honest. So, you know, if we can have more decks out there, you know, who have more appealing depictions of the dev card, then it wouldn't be so eye-opening or eye-dropping or shocking when I pull it out. You know, like the Lightseers Tarot, which I'm going to talk about later in this video. You know, the depiction of the dev in that one, or like the Unicorn Tarot, or yeah, Crystal Unicorn Tarot. Those depictions are so, I'm not saying that we should have all fluffy bunnies. I'm just saying they shouldn't look so horrific. Like if a child were to come across the dev in the tarot, they wouldn't be so, like, you know, afraid of using the cards or learning tarot, or they wouldn't, you know, you wouldn't have nightmares about it. But anyway, that's just me. That's my inner child speaking, I guess. Number 3, what are your which deck do you feel is overrated? Okay, so I'm not going to name names. But one, you know, decks that people do counterfeits on, you know, those decks where you can just look them up on Etsy and eBay and Amazon, and all of a sudden you know that it's a counterfeit. It's not the real deal. Those are overrated. Like, why are 10,000 people creating the same deck that someone no longer sells, or that you can easily find on Amazon for cheap? Like, why, what's the whole deal? And so you see them everywhere. Even when you're not trying to search for them, you see a deck that, you know, is in your face. And those are the decks that I keep seeing over and over and over. They're being mass produced, but they're counterfeits. So those kind of, yeah, it's like overrated. But we're like mass producing decks that are already popular, and it's like people are doing counterfeits over decks that are so popular already on Amazon or those other production companies, you know. And so I guess it's kind of like they're trying to piggyback off the creators, you know, money train, and that's so effed up. But anyway, the other one I will mention, and I think it's a beautiful, beautiful deck. Beautiful energy, intentions behind it, very well depicted. I am going to say the Lightseers Tarot. That is very overrated, because I feel, and I mean this in a positive way. This one, I feel like every tarot reader has it. Yeah, I feel like that's just one that everybody has. Or like the Everyday Witch, which, you know, I freaking love. So yeah, like I said, I have the Lightseers Tarot. Like I said, I'm talking positive things. Lightseers Tarot, it's the Everyday Witch. It seems like everyone's picking up the Modern Witch these days, and that one I don't have, but because I don't think I would resonate with it, and I'm not collecting decks anymore. But I just, yeah, those are overrated, and I feel like if there's a person who does, if you don't have those decks, okay, I would like to meet you. Hello, welcome to my channel. But I feel like every tarot reader either has Everyday Witch, or like I said, Lightseers, or the Modern Witch. I just feel like the marketing companies, you're freaking awesome, because your publishing, your marketing game is just on point. So yeah. You know, it could be that people really love it, or it can just be that the marketing, they really know what they're doing. The publishing companies, when they use their marketing team. Okay, number 3, what are your least favorite decks you've seen since joining YouTube or TarotTube? And, you know, by the way, these questions are going to be linked below or in my description and comments, so you can copy and paste. So my least favorite decks since joining this tarot community, which I love so much. Hello, if you're watching. So again, I'm not going to name names, but decks with inconsistent art style, because, okay, I have a few decks where it's like, okay, you have like 3D animation, but then you have photos of real people. So the 3D animation people, that's cool. Freaking like it. I like seeing people in my decks too, but not in the same deck. I don't want to see a picture of a person that looks like it was animated next to, or you know, shuffling it out with a card of an actual photo. It just it boggles my intuition, my mind. I can't read with it. It gives me a hiccup. I trip over it, over the art. So I don't like inconsistency when it comes to that. Like it's either or, not both in one deck. I like having formula. I like having things in place. I like having, you know, splashes where the words go in the same place. I don't like to see words on someone's forehead and then on another card you have words on someone's eyebrow. I mean, eyebrow, yeah, I guess. Or you have words in someone's elbow or someone's, and then you have words on the floor of the person. Or you have butterflies with words next to the butterfly wing, but then in the next card, the word is where, you know, the feet should be, or where the tree should be. I like words to be in what's it called, formulaic style, where you see the words in the same place all across the board, because then I know where to look when I'm reading my cards. And when they shuffle out, they look like a nice straight line of beautiful words, just, you know, coming together like a puzzle. So yeah, that kind of stuff bothers me. But I can still read with them. It's just, it makes my eyes go crazy trying to find where the word is on this card and this card. Yeah, and the same thing, you know, with those, yeah, and it's not just independent decks, it's also mass-produced decks. Like, you have decks where you have to read them, you know, landscape, but then you have a mixture of cards that are landscape, but then you have to flip the next card to see it in portrait. So I don't want to have to flip my cards to read the words. I don't want to have to figure out where it is on the card, even if it's straight up and landscape or portrait. Even if it's consistent in that way, I still don't want to have to figure out where the word is on each of the cards. I also don't like the text to be different. I like them to be all the same font, same placements, all that stuff. So that it just makes easy reading, you know, or reading easy and fun. Or it'll be, you know, a lot of typos, and then it kind of gives me a hiccup when I'm trying to read. You know, like a lot of typos. Yeah, and I don't mind if it's just like 1, 2, 3, but if it's like 20 out of the whole deck, oh my gosh, it really bothers me. I'm a word junkie. I just love playing Scrabble games and word games and Boggle and all that stuff. So grammar is important to me, but you know, I can still work with the deck. But when I'm reading the cards, I have to constantly explain, oh, this is a typo, this is what the person meant to type, or I don't want to have to do that out of respect for them, and also because that's just time consuming. And the other thing could be if the font is too tiny or too big, or you start a sentence with just a lowercase. I don't know, like I said, I'm a word snob, sorry, but you asked, so I'm telling. Okay, so you got, the other thing that really bothers me is, you know, if I'm using, I love pip decks, but there are other decks where you have, you know, the sword suit and people are not holding swords, or you have pentacles and people are not holding pentacles, they're just looking in a mirror posing. Like, those really make my brain hurt, because I already have that visual of what a pentacle looks like, right? I get the Ace of Pentacles, I want to say a big fat hand with pentacles. But if I don't see that on a card that I'm shuffling out, it makes me question, wait, am I using tarot? Wait, what is this? Oh, and then I have to visualize it and explain what I'm seeing, and then go on memory, and then go on what that means, and I'm trying to, it's just like a vision I'm trying to grasp onto, when I should just be looking at the art and then going intuitively from that point. Not doing all that. It's like driving and chewing and talking and on the phone and texting, and I want to make things easier for me as much as possible, especially if I'm doing a 45-minute reading. So that's something else that is a peeve of mine. Sorry, I didn't mean to go off on a tangent. Okay, the next one. Number 4. What is one card that has ruined a deck for you? I'm not naming names, but there are 2 decks that comes to mind. I'm sure there's more because I have a lot. But the first one is there's a picture of a monkey and he has something very sharp by his neck, and that just, it rubs me the wrong way. Just like, you know, with the other card I talked about, the dev with the chains and the fire and the eyeballs and half man, half bull, whatever that is, half ram, whatever. Just like the Medusa in Clash of the Titans, that thing is freaky as heck. That's what it reminds me of. Okay, I'm traumatized. But that had a monkey with a blade around its neck, and that kind of creeped me out because I don't want to see that happen to any kind of animal, even if it's a illustration, or it's just, it really made my intuition hurt a little bit. It made my heart hurt too. And then the other one was there was like a scary looking King of Swords in an illustrated deck, and it kind of looked too ghost-like. It kind of had like that weird I'm hunting you vibe, and I don't get that with the King of Swords. The King of Swords, you know, I think of someone as, you know, wit-wise and serious and professional, and, you know, he's very stoic, but he's not creepy. He's not about to haunt you in your dreams or chase after you with the big fat sword. So that one kind of creeped me out. I'm not going to give names because I don't want to like hurt anyone's feelings, but yeah. Number 5, which out of print deck do you wish was still in print? Okay, so far I can't really remember all the ones that I've come across in my years of reading tarot, but the 2 that do come to mind is the Bridal Tarot, which I think she has Kickstarter, but back then I was like, oh my gosh, where is this deck? It's so beautiful. So it's all about brides, and it's like a wedding tarot deck. And I thought it was so cool how you have like the whole family, friends, family, flowers, pinks, purples inside of a deck, and it's all wedding related. I thought it was so freaking cool. It's very original, and if you can pull that off, it's such a hard concept to do. And then the other one was Tarot of Oppositions. It was popping for a little while, and then it went off the mark, or it, I don't know, something happened to it. Maybe they ran out of publishing or materials, and they didn't want to order it just so soon. But then I saw it was back, and then I think it's not back again. I don't know, but it's like, that is such a cool concept, the Tarot of Oppositions, where you get to see the reversal depicted right underneath the card right side up. So you have half the card right side up, half the card in reverse without the words. It's just imagery. I think it's such a cool concept. So and I think it comes from the UK, which is very hard to find. The next one is what are some of your tarot and TarotTube pet peeves? All right. Oh, so this is okay. So what annoys me? Now we're getting into the pet peeves. Okay, I kind of like touched on this. So tight shrink wrap, I guess you would say. Tight shrink wrap. What's the other one? Like, you know, you cut through the shrink wrap, but then it scuffs your cards, and you're like, oh my gosh, and you're freaking out. That's me freaking out. And I don't want to have to go through shrink wrap and then have to go through box and then another shrink wrap and then another box, and you're like, what the freak, come on, all this extra packaging. That's costly, first of all, and that's not good for the environment, yada yada yada, you know how it goes. But the same thing is just very wasteful, and yeah, it costs too much. As a creator, I don't need the box. I mean, I don't need to have a box. I don't collect boxes. I need to store my decks in. No, you'll have to see what I mean. In my rotation, I'll put like 5 decks in a box standing up, you know, to keep them in place. But I don't need boxes, and I don't need plastic. I don't need all the extra stuff. I just want a deck. Darn it, just want a deck. And I don't mind if it comes in a small like organza bag or tin can or whatever, tin box. If it does come in the box, it's kind of cool to have a flap, like a magnetic flap, and then inside, maybe just opening it up with a ribbon. You don't need to have all that extra stuff. Anyway, the next thing here is, so people, okay, I don't mean to like offend anybody, I promise you, I'm not trying to offend. I'm just trying to be honest because I'm coming from a consumer standpoint. No shade, please, because I'm sure I've done this before in my reading, in my past, or did I? I don't think I did, but we'll keep going. I probably did when I first started my journey. So the first thing is, you know, 10%. Okay, so you know, people doing awesome reviews, showing their passion for a deck that they love, that they just bought, that they unboxed, but they do 90% of their face and 10% of the deck. And I love their faces, don't get me wrong. I'll watch their faces all day long. But if we're doing a deck review, I want to see nothing but deck. I don't want to see like hair in the way, or just, you know, showing the deck for like a second and then going back to, you know, your shirt or your face, whatever. It's fine. I love that if we're talking about, you know, like other cool stuff that is nothing related to what you're showing. If you're showing something, I want to see what you're showing. You know, I want a visual. So if you're talking about how beautiful the colors are in a deck, I want to see that. So I like, you know, when people do like, if you're going to do like FaceTime videos, I would love to have the deck side by side by your face, by people's faces, so we can have eye contact, you know, and have a balance of the deck right next to them, so you know what they're looking at. It's like a reaction video. If they're reacting to how the word placement is on a card, then you can see what they're talking about. And I try to figure out what the heck they're saying, because they just flashed the card for 2 seconds. I genuinely, I think I've done that in the very beginning of my stages. I try to show the deck as much as possible, but then I got carried away in my talking. So that's why I know it just bothers me, because when I was watching it back after, you know, years later, I'm like, what the heck? I barely did any deck showings. But then you have other channels who they do nothing but deck reviews. I like those because you really get to see the details. A lot more card action with a lot of FaceTime, so half and half, or just card action, you know what I'm saying? Okay, so the next thing here, my pet peeve, is collage type of decks. I mean, I have one, maybe two, that I freaking love, that it was so well done. The first one is the textured tarot, and oh wait, I can't even think of another one. Okay, oh no, Spirit Animal by Colette Baron Reed. Those two are my favorites. They're well done. You really highlight the animals in the spirit deck. You really highlight, like, there's a lot of elements happening in the textured tarot, and everything's just fun, and it's placed nicely, and the words are very coherent. Everything just flows. But then you have other collage type of decks, and you see how you have like 10,000 things happening, and you're like, where do I look? What do I do? Do I look here? Do I look there? So if you're gonna do a collage type of deck, if anybody's gonna do the collage type of deck, I guess maybe the less the better, keeping it simple, or not have everything so dark around what you're trying to enhance or highlight, so that you can really see what the card is about. So if it's about a dog, let's not have 10,000 items on top of the dog, or surrounding the dog where it feels so busy. The only thing that really could pull it off, that type of style, is the Starman Tarot, which I'm about to talk about. I freaking love that one so much. But it's because there's so much happening, but it doesn't overpower. It doesn't take away either. And the colors are just so magnetic, and they really talk to your intuition. Some decks that I feel should have more recognition: Kawaii Tarot. Freaking love it. That's my first go-to. I love it. I love it. I love it. I put keywords on it, and it's forever my favorite. I learned with that. That's my learning tool, because it was so simplistic. The Dame Tarot. It's just like it's just maybe like cute art style that's someone hand drawn. It's so cool, by NKH Tarot. Miss Cleo's Tarot. I don't know if there's like a lot of taboo about that. I don't know, but I love the Egypt theme. The after tarot and the before tarot, I love them. They have cool depictions. And again, the Starman Tarot. And number 8, what are my thoughts on negative reviews? You know, you can be honest and classy and use tact. I don't like people bashing other creators, and I just want us to support each other's work. And so I don't really like negative reviews. I do like honest reviews. Like, maybe talk about what you do like, but then maybe, you know, highlight things that you don't like in a way where it's not like, you know, calling them on it, or, you know, belittling people for it, or all that stuff. So I try to be honest, but I also try to be respectful, and I try to really, you know, come from a place of like, hey, this is what I like, what I don't like, what I suggest, what I don't suggest, and so I wish, yeah, I just appreciate that. I appreciate people's honesty, as long as we're not like, you know, making people feel bad about their products or their creations. Anyway, that's what I have. Please do this tag. I would love to see your video. I hope that this video finds you well, and thank you so much. All the questions are down below, as well as Katey's awesome video. Bye.